Choosing the right AI technique isn't just a technical decision. It could be the difference between compliant and illegal. In this video, I'll show you how to design AI solutions that work and meet the strict demands of the EU AI Act. But why should you care about that? Well, the EU AI Act has fines of up to $35 million or 7% of revenue kicking in on the 2nd of August 2025. So this video is important if you deliver AI solutions in enterprise organizations. Hey friends, I'm Ahmed. I help deliver AI solutions in non-AI native organizations. In this series, we're applying the EU AI Act to the 10 steps of the AI delivery lifecycle, one step at a time. In step 1, we talked about problem framing. Step 2, use case definition. Step 3, data assessment and readiness. And in step 4, today, we are talking about the solution design and the overall approach. So by the end of the video, you'll know how to choose the right AI technique, design a compliant architecture, document your reasoning with some level of confidence, and navigate the key trade-offs, all in line with the EU AI Act. For those who are new, I always use the AI Act Explorer. Link is on the screen and in the description below. Now, let's have a look at the top 3 Act articles that support our solution design and approach. So firstly, we come up with Article 9, which is the risk management systems. So our design must reflect and reduce known and foreseeable risks, but not just the technical ones, but risks that also impact our fundamental rights and may result in misuse as well. Article number 13 is around transparency obligations for high-risk applications. Some techniques, like LLMs for example, are less interpretable than others. Unless you can clearly explain it to users, your design may fall short of transparency standards. Article 15, accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. The design decisions need to ensure resilience to real-world failures, adversarial inputs, and security breaches as well. So this directly impacts the architecture and the AI technique chosen. Right, so now that we know why this step matters and which parts of the EU AI Act actually apply, let's shift gears and get practical. What exactly do you need to do to design and implement an AI solution from approach selection to architecture? So let's have a look at the 4 key stages of this solution design and approach. The first one is around selecting the right AI approach. Second one is about defining the high-level architecture. Third one is documenting the design rationale. And last but not least, it's about technical trade-offs to support the ethics and compliance as well. So let's start at the beginning. So whilst the AI technique does matter, whether it's supervised or unsupervised learning, whether it's reinforcement learning, rule-based or LLMs, the biggest impact actually comes from the use case that's actually applied. Now on the screen you'll see examples of a single AI technique and how the risk classification changes depending on the use case. So let's take the supervised learning technique as an example. So supervised learning is when an AI system learns from examples where both the inputs and the outputs, the correct answers, are provided, like showing it a lot of emails and telling it which ones are spam and which ones are not. And it uses these examples to learn how to predict the right answers for new and unseen emails that it has never seen before. So that's supervised learning. Now, if we apply this technique across various different use cases, like for example, classifying internal emails, this would be a minimal risk because it's not user-facing and it's unlikely to impact the legal rights of the users. On the other hand, if we use it as spam detection in the enterprise email, it could potentially affect the user experience. So there's an argument that it could fall under Article 52. Next, if we were to use this for credit scoring or for hiring algorithms, then this would be most definitely a high risk because this definitely influences access to essential services and opportunities, and these are listed under Annex 3. And then lastly, emotional regulation in the workplace or schools, as an example, right? Now, this is explicitly prohibited under Article 5 because we don't want that kind of intrusive surveillance because it's a risk to our fundamental rights. So we need to ensure both the AI techniques and the use cases are appropriate and permissible as well. Okay, so now we've got selected the right AI approach. We've understood what kind of the impact of use cases as well. Now let's go on to defining the high-level architecture. Well, the first thing we need to look at is making sure that we have the robustness and resilience to survive an attack or to survive any error. So this is basically under Article 15. So Article 15 is about accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. And logging and auditability over here. This is about post-market monitoring as well. This is making sure that we've got risk mitigation through Article 9 and also support for post-market monitoring, Article 72 as well. So that should say Article 9 there as well. Okay, next we come on to the transparent logic, and this is really important for user-facing AI. This ensures making sure that your users understand what is actually AI and what is generated by AI and what is not. So Article 13 on transparency for high-risk applications is applicable over here. And then for security architecture, we need to make sure we include the protection against cyber threats and adversarial threats. That's Article 15. As I've already said, and fail-safes and alerts, which aligns with Article 9, which is the risk management system. Okay, so that's the one, selecting the right AI approach, and two, defining the high level. Let's have a look at documenting and our design rationale. So this is really critical for compliance under the Act, and it creates a transparent record of the technical and the ethical thinking behind your choices. So this basically supports Article 9 with the technique justification that we've just talked about, making sure that you've really thought through what you're using and why you're using it, making sure that you can justify your architectural rationale. Article 10 is about data, but we won't talk too much about that. But really Article 15 over here, which is accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity, making sure that we've thought about all of those things from an architectural perspective. Then outlining what are some of the rejected alternatives and the transparency trade-offs that we've had to actually do to support Article 13. Logging these is really important, and making sure that we are audit ready is also very important. Look at Article 16, which is kind of a summary for high-risk applications, and Article 72, which is for the post-market monitoring. Okay, now finally let's move on to the technical trade-offs to support the ethics and compliance. And this is where we have to demonstrate and show we've thought about, the accuracy versus the explainability trade-off, if you like, automation versus control, data accessibility versus the privacy, and the speed versus the security over here. So all of these trade-offs are very important as well. So there you have it. That's how these are some of the things we need to think about when we are putting our solution design and approach together. Here's a question for you. If someone asked you to prove that your AI design was safe, fair, and legally compliant, not just functional, could you do it? Okay, so in this video, we explored how to design AI solutions that are not only technical sound, but also fully aligned with the EU AI Act. We covered how to choose the right AI technique and why risk classification depends more on use case than the algorithm selected itself. 2, we looked at how to define a high-level architecture that supports traceability, robustness, human oversight, and compliance from the ground up. 3, why documenting your design rationale isn't optional, it's your legal and ethical shield. And finally, how to navigate real-world trade-offs, performance versus explainability, speed versus safety, without compromising our ethics or compliance. This is step 4 of our 10-part series applying the EU AI Act to real-world AI delivery. Next week, we're going to tackle team formation and delivery readiness. These are critical because organizations must demonstrate they have the right people and processes in place to manage risk, ensure transparency, and maintain control throughout the AI lifecycle. And without this foundation, compliance isn't difficult, it's nearly impossible. So hit subscribe and the bell notification, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.